I ain't the kind to wear a tie, button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the work can never be fun? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby. Joining me tonight, we got Rob.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob.
And we got Donnie.
Hey, Donnie.
And we have three very special guests, starting with Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex.
And we got Ryan.
Who's that?
Who's Ryan? Who dat? Who dat? And we got Apple.
Hello.
Alright, so first off, how are you guys doing? How is everybody?
Great.
Don't
Very
lie to me,
full.
Donnie.
I've been force-fed zucchini, and
That's correct.
So he's great. So he's great too.
Yeah, exactly.
it was pretty good.
Thank you.
I feel like I haven't talked to Lex and Ryan in a while.
It's been a minute.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah,
I miss you.
I love you and I miss you too, pal.
So tonight's episode, we all decided that we were going to custom make homebrewed Warlock Subclasses. We're going to read what we've come up with. I forget, were we wanting to rate these like we did the other subclasses as well, as far as like S tier through D tier?
I think,
Or do we
I
just
think it
want to
was-
talk about them?
like, gently rate and workshop, but not like,
Annihilate.
Yeah.
not to the extent
We should
of
rate them.
criticism.
Maybe just workshop them.
Yeah, workshop sounds good.
I mean, I'll be honest. Mine's broken. I feel.
I don't think yours is broken.
I mean, it's broken as much as I'm comfortable allowing somebody else playing it to be.
So it's S tier?
I think it's up there in my opinion, but that's me. I'm opening this. I don't care anymore. Okay.
I think mine is okay.
I don't know which one to do, because I made two.
Well, you're an overachiever.
I got inspired.
Well, I'm to roll a coin.
Roll a coin? Ah, yes.
I know what I said.
I have that two-headed coin somewhere. I don't know where I put it though.
I'll just choose one at some point. It's fine.
All right.
Ah, yes, heads or heads.
Heads. Yeah, it is.
Call tail.
Well, okay. Well, Ryan, why don't we start with you then?
Oh, God.
Oh God, the anxiety.
So I'm just gonna say, before I start reading, that this subclass has an identity problem.
Okay.
All of the words make you think one thing, and what it actually is makes you go a completely different direction. So
All right.
this is the Warlock Entropy. You have sworn yourself to follow the inevitable flow of the universe towards chaos and disorder. By embracing the certain end of everything, you have let go from the constraints of the trappings of mortality and learned to ride time into oblivion. Your patron is a god of chaos or disorder. Expanded spell list. Warlocks of Entropy can choose from an expanded list of spells when they learn a Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the Warlock spell list for you. First, Chaos Bolt and Sleep. Second, Nether's Mischief, Wither and Bloom. Third, Sending and Slow. Fourth, Compulsion and Confusion. And fifth, Contagion and Insect Plague.
Okay.
Call of the Void. Starting at first level, you gain the ability to inspire chaos in your surroundings. When a creature within 20 feet of you that you can see makes an attack roll or ability check, you can add to or subtract from the roll an amount less than or equal to your proficiency bonus. You can decide to make this modification after you know whether the roll succeeded or failed, but before the effects take place. You then take necrotic damage equal to the amount that you modified the roll. This feature can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all uses after a long rest. Writhing. Also at first level, you gain proficiency in Abyssal. If you already have this proficiency, you can choose a language that your DM agrees is appropriate for your patron. Seething and Bubbling. Starting at 6th level, you are able to further a creature on the path to death. Poison damage you deal ignores resistance to poison damage. If the creature is immune to poison damage, you instead treat it as resistant to poison damage. If you deal the killing blow on a creature with poison damage, you can restore your health up to half of the poison damage dealt to the creature this turn, rounded down. Chilling Invitation. At 10th level, the energies of inevitability swirl around you at all times. All creatures of your choosing within 10 feet of you subtract 1d4 from their saving throws. In addition, food within 10 feet of you goes bad twice as quickly, and things around you are more prone to wear and damage. If an object within 10 feet of you would take damage for any reason, it takes an additional 1d6 of that damage type. And Return to Dust. Starting at 14th level, you become a harbinger of the cycle of wear and decay. As an action on your turn, you can transform into the embodiment of chaos. Your body and clothing become shrouded in a thick black mist that completely obscures your form, and you gain the following benefits. All creatures within 10 feet of you take 2d8 poison damage at the start of your turn. If you cast a spell that deals poison damage targeting a creature, creatures within 10 feet of you that are not the target of the spell take half of the damage dealt by the spell, rounded down, and you are immune to poison damage. The transformation lasts for 1 minute, or until you are knocked unconscious or die. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier and regain all uses upon completing a long rest.
Damn.
Words.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You sounded, I'm not going to lie, you sounded extremely professional.
Yeah, you sounded like
reading
a radio show host.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm kind of dehydrated from dinner, so it's I got the radio voice going.
Raspy.
If I would spend channel crim bucks to make you take a drink.
All right, well, I will take a drink as soon as I'm done being up against the microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I have any type of, like...
I liked the theme.
Yeah.
So
I don't have any type of, like... I guess... Not harsh criticism, but, like... I don't have
it's
anything...
okay, Webby. You
to pick
can
apart.
run me over. I'm not going to get upset. Go for it.
That's the thing, is I don't have anything to run over.
Okay.
I actually really liked it, so...
Yeah, the identity crisis that I had was, should it be a poison subclass or a necrotic subclass?
See, that's the thing. Okay, I'm happy that you went poison.
Okay, well...
Because poison, other than fire, I feel like poison's one of the most resisted damage types.
Right.
And anytime you're fighting against stuff and that does poison damage, it's like, okay, that's fine, you know. It's either immune or resistant, this, that, and the other thing, but I like the fact that yours gets rid of resistance to poison, and if they are outright immune, then they just become resistant. It actually, you know, it would make me want to play this class just because of the thematic of being, you know, utilizing poison again. So,
Hell yeah.
I'm all
Anybody
about
else
giving
have
things
any,
that are like giving props to things that are underrated, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of when I was trying to come up with it. Anybody else want to run me over with a steamroller? Or...
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, what do you think, Rob?
I think it's good.
Yeah, you like
Hell
poison
yeah,
damage?
I got...
Yeah, I mean, especially since, you know, I have some characters that are resistant to poison. It's fine by me.
Damn, I got the Rob seal of approval. Last time, Rob was like, I wouldn't let anybody play that.
Well, yeah, because I hate artificers.
Oh my god.
All
Alright.
I like it a lot. I think it has potential for some solid AoE damage too. Just off what you said.
Now I have a question now because
Yes.
I was not reading along when I was listening, but I know.
Oh, I'm
Apple
sorry, I
has
didn't
it
send
pulled
it to
up.
you.
I did.
No,
Oh.
yeah, Lex did. The AoE portion of it,
Yes.
when you attack somebody, and then the targets, other than the person that you attacked, is it targets within 5 feet of that target or within 5 feet of you?
So, hold on, I'm rereading.
I thought it was within you. Like you hit
I think it's you.
somebody, and then there was like people within 10 feet of you took half damage. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, my eyes aren't
You
working.
were
I'm
thinking?
trying to read.
That's what I was.
Where-
thinking.
Where was that?
Near the bottom, it's when you turn into
Oh,
chaos,
okay.
right?
Yeah, so if you cast a spell that deals poison damage that targets a creature, all creatures within 10 feet of you
Of you.
that are not the target take half of the damage.
So you really gotta hope you're not near any of your besties.
So you
Yeah.
can still, but also the first part of that is all creatures within 10 feet of you take 2d8 poison damage.
Right.
So, you could still shoot somebody across the map, but then you're going to radiate, poison damage.
Ooze.
Yeah. And see, like,
But
I like that because even if you're not being surrounded because you're a caster by a bunch of melee, you can actually purposefully put yourself into a position where you can utilize that and then potentially, use another, trick up your sleeve to get out of that precarious position of being surrounded by enemies. So, not to mention it's within 10 feet, so it's even then you're not taking many opportunity attacks, if any, if you just run in and then run back out.
This is true.
The ultimate crop dust.
I feel better now.
Oh my god.
Ah, yes, the fart warlock.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I
Just
feel like
started
I've given it a bad
apologizing.
nickname already.
Farting
Fart
warlock.
lock.
Oh no.
All
Just
right.
thinking about those beans.
Oh my god.
Apple, do you have anything to add to this?
I liked it. That's all I got. I thought the thematic. I like things that are very thematic.
All right. What about you, Lex? What are your thoughts on his warlock class, subclass?
I think it's neat. How did you decide on this being the subclass that you went forward with?
So, normally when you make a subclass, and you look at the ones that are already there aren't that many. But Warlock happens to cover a wide, swath of things. So I was just like, oh, what don't they cover? Chaos, things deteriorating. I was like, that sounds Warlocky.
So I have a question now.
Sure.
How many other warlock subclasses did you make in your head before you decided on this one?
This was the first one that I made.
Oh shit.
I made most of this the day after we decided to do this, and then I revisited it last week to finish it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting you to be like, yeah, this is like my 6th one I made, and I just chose this one.
What's funny is, on my list of ones that I didn't get inspiration for, I have one called The Chaos. So,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
You gonna say something?
This isn't the first warlock that you've ever made, though.
Correct.
This is just the first one for this instance that you came up with.
I did make Lady Luck.
Oh yeah, that's right. You sent me that one. I really like that one too.
This one is a little less potentially broken than that one.
I
So.
mean, yeah.
The other one can do infinity damage. This one is normal.
All right. So who wants to go next?
Me.
Apple wants to go next.
I want to go next. I decided which one I'm going to do, so I'm going to send a picture in chat so you guys can read along also if you would like. Sorry, viewers, you don't get the stunning visuals. So, I'm just going to lean closer just in case. I can't. That's fine. So mine's called The Nightmare. It says, you've seen a glimpse at the horrors that can be twisted in the shadows of the night, and decided you wanted to be linked with it. Your patron is a being of fear and nightmares, lurking in shadowed corners, tasting the edge of a sleeping consciousness, and sapping the worst imaginable terrors out of them. They crave fear, and have no qualms in gathering another soul into their midst to help bring more fear into the world. Perhaps nights of insomnia have led you to be comfortable with this darker world, or maybe you're journeying down this path to conquer your own fears. Whatever the reason, the darkness didn't keep you at bay, and now you're becoming a part of it. Expanded spell list. The Nightmare lets you choose from an expanded list of spells that you, when you learn a Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the Warlock spell list for you. At first level, you get Dissonant Whispers and Sleep. At second, you get Phantasmal Force and Tasha's Mind Whip. At third, you get Bestow Curse and Slow. At fourth, you get Giant Insect and Phantasmal Killer. And at fifth, you get Banishing Smite and Insect Plague. Embrace of the Dark. At first level, your connection with the Nightmare allows you to have dark vision. If you already have dark vision, the distance you can see is doubled. In addition, your acceptance of the horrors of your patron give you advantage on saving throws against being frightened. Ghastly Visage. Your connection allows you to use an action to summon a ghastly being within 10 feet of you. It hovers where you command it and can be moved as a bonus action, but otherwise does nothing. It remains summoned for 1 minute. Allies who are aware of it when it's summoned aren't affected by it. Everyone else who sees it within a 15-foot radius must make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of the creature. Frightened creatures can repeat the saving throw at the end of their turns. You can summon the Visage a number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Woven in Darkness. At 6th level, your being is starting to become one with the darkness. You have advantage on stealth checks made in the dark. Once per long rest, you can summon the darkness around you for 5 minutes, causing others to have disadvantage on all attacks made against you. You can now merge with your Ghastly Visage upon summoning, causing the same effects of the Visage, but centered on yourself with a radius of 20 feet. Creature of the Night. At 10th level, you are so at home in the darkness that you are always able to see in it. You gain blind sight up to 30 feet and are unaffected by magical darkness. In addition, you are so accustomed to fear in all of its forms that you are immune to the frightened condition. Waves of Fear. Starting at 14th level, fear rolls around you like an aura. Once per long rest, you can send your fear aura up to 150 feet away from you, with a radius of 20 feet on a spot you choose. That area then becomes difficult terrain, covered in low, black, rolling fog that seems to form skulls, hands, and tendrils between one moment and the next. Those who start their turn within the aura must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened and take 10d8 psychic damage. On a save, they take half damage and aren't frightened. If frightened, they must try to leave the square as quickly as possible, and they won't be able to willingly enter it again. At the end of each of their turns, they are able to make the save again to become unfrightened. Once they're unfrightened, they cannot be affected by it again for 24 hours. When you send out the aura, you may choose up to 3 plus your charisma modifier allies to be unaffected by the frightening presence of the aura.
And I will say for the listeners, the picture is god-awful. All right. Thoughts? Tear Apple apart.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like it.
I mean, yeah. It's got the edge.
Yeah. I was
The edgy
inspired
lot.
by sleep paralysis demons.
Ah, I see it.
It's fair. Man, I fucking 150 feet. Jeez.
I mean, a lot of spells have like 120 foot-ish plus radius. Like that you could just
Uh.
fucking eat it.
I know, it's just like, oh, what are you doing all the way over there? You're having a nightmare now.
Having a
You're
nightmare.
having a nightmare now.
Get fucked.
It's like, who is that down the street? Nightmares.
Well, I like it just because it includes Insect Plague. It's an expanded spell. Is that not a Warlock spell, anyone?
I also figured it just feels like the stuff of nightmares, insect plague, like There you
Yeah.
go.
Bugs crawling all over you all the time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Rob, what do you think?
I like it. The only thing that I think might be... Well, no. I mean, I guess it works the same as, like, Frightful Presence. It was like it just like every turn you just keep getting the chance of being frightened, but if a dragon keeps using like Frightful Presence, it would do the same thing. So yeah, all right.
My only uncertainty is that Woven Darkness lasts for 5 minutes. That just feels like a long time for battle. Because Rage only lasts a minute. And I know it's half damage, but I'm kind of comparing the effects of that. Having it be 5 minutes long.
Well, that's fair.
But other than that, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I see why you made it 5 minutes because of the first part about having advantage on stealth checks in the dark. But yeah, for a battle power, I mean, most battles don't even last a minute, so
You're not wrong.
yeah. You basically would have it the entire time. But I mean, even if it was 1 minute, there's a good chance that you would still have it the entire fight. So
True.
Donnie?
I like it. I said I like it a lot. I like the whole theme of it. It's edgy lock.
Edgy lock.
So, based off of Donnie's descriptions, we got Edgy Lock and Fart Lock.
Uh-oh.
Donnie's gonna be naming all of these.
Keep them rolling.
Uh-oh. I think I messed up, guys.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right. Well, you know, I like it already. I mean, you came to me for my stamp of approval on it.
You're not wrong.
I just don't like the picture. It gives me nightmares.
The other one I did was based on a fallen angel. That was actually my first concept, and I rolled with that one, and I'm also equally proud of it. But I liked this one just slightly more.
All right.
Yeah, I guess you'll have to subscribe to the Patreon to see that one. Wait, we don't do that.
No, I mean, according to Devin, we're going to start up an OnlyFans where we just dress up like clowns and eat hamburgers.
You know, somebody will give you money for that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody somewhere wants to watch that. He's absolutely right.
And his name is Donnie.
I'm not really into the whole clown thing.
You wouldn't support your friends, Donnie? There.
Sure,
I'm
totally.
in a tight spot now.
What if you guys dress up in the official Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master costume
Oh, hell yeah.
and eat gummy dice?
I'll do it.
Forbidden candy!
I love it. That's good.
All right, who wants to go next? Otherwise, I will. I'll get mine out of the way.
Do it, Webby.
All right. Mine started off as kind of a joke one, I guess. And then it just kind of turned into something that I didn't mind anymore.
Do you want me to share it with them so they can read along?
Hold on. I might actually have that. Boom. If it goes through. There
It'll
we
go
go.
through.
So, mine is the DM Warlock
Oh my God.
subclass. Alright, so it says, you've always had a feeling like someone else was watching over you, controlling your moves like a puppet on a string, though the thought of that never scared you. Instead, you're very curious about the otherworldly being who has a say in the universe around you as it unfolds. You think they're above the gods even, and you want in on that kind of power. The being knows this before you even do, and they've already accepted you as a patron, or as their patron. No,
Yeah,
as
as
a
their
patron.
as
As your patron. Yeah. You almost didn't have a say in it, but you don't care. You want to know what real power feels like. So the expanded spell list, the DM lets you choose from an expanded spell list. When you learn a Warlock spell, the following spells are added to the Warlock spells for you. First level, Magic Missile and Shield. Second level, Fortune's Favor and Tasha's Mind Whip. 3rd level, Fireball and Haste. 4th level, Confusion and Guardian of Nature. And 5th level, Bigby's Hand and Cone of Cold. Peek behind the screen. Starting at 1st level, your patron gives you a glimpse behind the proverbial screen, granting you insight into your target. As a bonus action, you can learn one aspect of a creature that you can see amongst the following: best saving throw, worst saving throw, armor class, special senses, and languages known. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a short rest. You can certainly try. Starting at 6th level, when asked to make an ability check that you aren't proficient in, you may choose to roll that ability check with double your proficiency bonus. You may do this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. Roll 4d6 and drop the lowest. Starting at 10th level, the first time you make a death saving throw, instead roll 4d6 and drop the lowest. You heal for that amount, you gain that many temp HP. You also have advantage on all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws until the end of your next turn. Once you use this ability, you can't do so again until you finish a short rest. And then lastly, how do you want to do this? Starting at 14th level, you've become a champion in your patron's eyes. All attacks with mundane weapons become magical to you for the purposes of overcoming resistances. You also gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. You are immune to the charmed and frightened condition, and you have advantage on saving throws against spells. Additionally, as a bonus action, you can cause the critical hit range of your next attack to be a 16 through 20. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish 1d4 long rests. That is my DM Warlock subclass.
You took me on a roller coaster ride.
I really like this one.
Yeah, it's spicy.
So I was sitting here all the way through 10th level going, oh, what's he talking about? It's not broken. And then most of the 14th level one, I was like, oh my god. But then 1d4 long rests.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be 4 days that you're basically useless. So,
it's only the bonus action, right?
Not useless, just not an avatar of God.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's only the bonus action that you can't use again for 1d4 long rest, right? The rest of it still applies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, being able to crit as a 16 is pretty nice.
Oh, no, never mind. It's broken then. I thought that whole feature was gated.
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
The first paragraph of the 14th level thing you just get for being a champion of your patron. The bonus action to increase your crit range from 16 to 20 is what you get for the long rest.
I can see where you might, like, the vague brokenness, but also you're, like, 14th level already. You are a spellcaster, so you're probably not super up close anyways to receive bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing all that often? Maybe?
Man, the fighter champion is in shambles looking at the better crit range.
Yeah, but they get they get a better crit range consistently.
They also get 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the attacks made with one mundane weapons become magical. I mean, you should have a magical weapon at that point anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only like if someone stole it or you were in prison or whatever. And then the resistances to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. That, I mean, barbarians get that just for being barbarians. Mm-hmm. The saving throws against spells like freaking satyrs and stuff just get that for being alive.
True.
For being alive.
Now, I will ask this question. This is going to be more specifically geared towards, I guess, Rob and Donnie. Can you tell what one of my favorite things that I instituted into this subclass is?
Oh, so I can't answer?
What's your answer?
Give me a second.
I'm going to see if Rob and Donnie
I have
can get it. Okay, what's your guess, Lex?
and this might just be because it's my favorite, but the peek behind the screen, because I don't know how to explain that, but
I'm pretty sure it's the magic missile spell.
It sure is the magic missile spell.
I was stuck between those two.
You know something?
I have an entire
I was leaning more
wizard.
towards behind the screen.
I have an entire wizard in one of Rob's games that is just dedicated to magic missile. Oh, I learned a 6th level spell slot, 6th level magic missile.
effective.
Fucking
You know,
love magic missile.
I feel like peek behind the screen needs to be a ranger feature because it's like it fits.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It helps them with their selective racism.
Yeah. Yep.
Instead of that,
Yeah, if you just kind of focus on the hunting and not the hunting a specific race, because this is literally anything you want to know about anyone that you could deduce. I think it's fun, especially for your note takers, because you can come face to face with like the same creature and learn something new about them every time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially like the saving throw thing, because like I feel like
that's
armor
useful.
class, I figured that out within a couple turns usually, like, or at least like a 1 to 2 number radius of it, you know. But like us, like, yeah, I mean that just seems fun. But also especially if you're trying to communicate with someone and you're like, neither of us, you know, they don't speak common. You'd be like, oh, what languages do they know?
Yeah, I did put that one in there specifically for roleplay purposes, essentially.
You know what, though? That I just realized that this is so broken. Knowing what languages people know, how...
God damn it, Rob. Doesn't mean that you can speak every language, though, Rob. Now, I will say... I was bouncing back and forth between a thought, and I want your guys' opinion. For the peek behind the screen thing, the best saving throw and worst saving throw, I ended up not including it. So in my mind, when I read this, if you used it and you wanted to know, okay, I want to know this creature's best saving throw, my answer as the DM would then be like, oh, their best is charisma. So that way you know not to target charisma. But I was bordering on saying, okay, so you learn that you learn insight into these creatures. You want to know the best saving throw. Their best saving throw is charisma. They have a +7 to it. Now, do you think with this it would be okay just to give you the ability that they're best at for saving throw, or would you as players want to know what their modifier is as well?
I almost wish that it leveled up with you, like it was an ability that when you got better, maybe you were able to glean more from somebody.
Okay.
I kind of think that it's fine just knowing what category it is. The word has dropped out of my mind. Without knowing the modifier, because then there's still like the critical thinking part where you have to figure out, okay, their best could be a 2, or it could be a 5, or even like their worst could be a 5. Like, you don't know.
Right.
Like, it could still make some fun situations for you to think about in character.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you guys could be going up against, say an ancient red worm. And,
As a casual mention.
And you'd be like, hey, I want to know what their worst saving throw is. And I'd be like, okay, it's intelligence. But that doesn't mean that you guys don't know that he still has a +13 to his intelligence saving throws.
Write that down. But
where are the note takers at?
I'm right here.
no, so yeah, my thought is that the enjoyable part of battle is not knowing hardly anything. So at first level, to just know, yeah, fine, it's intelligence, but that doesn't really help you. Like, as much as you think it does. Like, if at level 1 I knew, yeah, this guy has a +8 to his wisdom, and all of my spells are wisdom saving throws. I don't know, it kind of just, like, derails it a bit, but
Gotcha.
just to know, it's wisdom, but
then
who knows?
Then you can at least trying to target something else as far as a thing. Yeah.
I think it's completely fine the way because like say you added on to saving throws, right? Where they could find out which one's the best, which one's the worst, what the bonuses are. How does that trickle down to languages known?
Right. I mean,
there's no extra information to get there. Yeah. So I think it's good the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, would you guys add anything to this list? Like, or do you think that covers a wide enough net that it would be good just the way it is?
There is something that I would potentially add for other groups and not our groups.
Okay.
I would add, how do they look on the Webby scale of fucked up? Because I don't know that that's something that other DMs normally just divulge.
Right.
Like, they might say, oh, he looks a little rough, but like, to be able to go, wow, he looks like he's about to fall over, I feel like that requires some special, like...
I mean, I don't know about that, because when you're role-playing, with the theater of the mind, you would be able to tell, or at least be able to say, your character would be able to ask, okay, hey, how do they look? Like, just
That's
as
true.
a role-play thing, because the character would potentially be seeing how fucked up they actually are.
Right.
I agree with that.
I guess so.
Well,
Like, you don't need to ask God, hey, how bad are they looking?
At the same time, though, certain creatures, depending on what you're fighting, may not show the wear and tear of combat as identifiably as others. I
Then
guess you
that would
could
be
say.
a skill check, right?
That's true. That's true. I mean, I know in 4th edition, anytime you were fighting something and they got down to half their HP or less, they were considered quote-unquote bloody. So anytime a DM was like, okay, this creature's now bloodied, then you knew it was at least halfway, through its hit point pool.
Okay.
Although a lot of creatures in 4th edition too had special effects that happened, like as a result of being bloody, it does this, or this. Which made the fights a bit more challenging.
Well, then maybe I would revise my statement to potentially be movement speed. Because it's also, just like armor class, it's something that you're going to find out in a couple of turns anyway, but if you really wanted to know...
Right. I mean,
really
that could also be added too, because if you're able to learn its any type of senses that it would have, then additionally, if you're fighting, say, a goblin, and then you want to know, okay, well, what's its movement, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, well, it has a 50-foot movement speed, a 40-foot swim speed, and a 30-foot fly speed, then you're like, well, this doesn't seem like a normal goblin then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe just the highest number.
All right.
You could potentially add resistances, immunities, or creature type.
Oh, creature type.
Oh, creature type. Yeah, I didn't even think about creature type. And that would definitely come in handy for, Rainia.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. You'd find those fiends and dragons.
Although I will say it is very rewarding, even as a DM, when you make an attack and you're like, is it a monstrosity, fiend, or whatever? I'm like, it actually is a monstrosity. And then you're like, yes! And then you get
very
extra
excited.
damage dice. So. All right, well, there was my quote-unquote semi-joke Warlock patron subclass.
I think it's fun.
I mean,
I do too.
I like
it is the most balanced dungeon master based subclass I have ever seen.
Well, I appreciate that, and I want to thank Apple for putting it together in this format with the cool picture.
Yes, it looks nice for the viewers.
So,
props to Jorik for the art. I don't know where you are, Jorik, but you did good.
You did good, Jorik.
right.
Turns out they're an SU listener, and they're like, me?
Me? I did good? Jorik, if you're listening, you did awesome. we'd be glad to have you on to talk about your art.
All right, guys, go hunt down Jorik.
Yep. All right, so we got 3 more of you. Who wants to go next?
I'll go ahead.
All right.
Haha, beat you to it.
Nope.
I heard grunts from Rob. You want me to go ahead and go, Rob? I will say you can go if you want. This is...
No? Well, okay.
Alright, I just want to get
I don't
run
even
over
care.
with.
I don't even care. Whatever.
I don't even care anymore, guys. I don't even care, alright? Rob, go
Wow.
ahead, alright, bro?
Rob sounds so relaxed.
Well, no, you said you first.
Alright. Alright, so mine is Pact of the Crossroads. Got the idea from Supernatural. You are the underling of a powerful demon, tasked to acquire souls for them through deals with mortals. So Death's Bargain. Starting at first level, when you reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, you gain temporary hit points equal to your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1. In addition, you also gain proficiency with the Charisma Persuasion checks. Learn the languages Infernal and Abyssal. Next, also at level 1, we have Step Into My Office. You gain the ability to use any door to enter your office. See Magnificent Mansion. Up to 2 times per day, you may enter this space as an action for up to 10 minutes. Once inside, you may bargain for a mortal soul to be sent to your patron in exchange for a boon within your patron's ability. Consult your DM for that part. The next one, Fiendish Vigor. Starting at 6th level, you are now a demon. Your eyes are black, though you may use a bonus action to revert them to their natural appearance. You gain resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. You also gain resistance to either fire or cold, your choice, and you are considered a fiend. Next one's Skimming Off the Top. Starting at level 10, when you seal the deal for a mortal soul, you gain 1 additional Warlock spell slot as you keep a portion for yourself. This spell slot is lost upon a short or long rest. The ability may be used once per long rest. You also gain expertise in the Charisma Persuasion check. The last one I have, King of the Crossroads. Starting at level 14, your eyes are now red when you choose to reveal your demon nature. You have gained enough power to make lesser deals. Upon completion of a deal, you may store energy from the bargain for later use. The use of this energy can take the form of any spell of 6th level or lower and can be from any class of spell list. You do not need to meet the requirements of the spell, if any, including time or costly components. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a 1d4 long rest. You cannot store more than 1 spell's worth of energy at any single time. And that's all I got. I did not give this one a expanded spell list.
That was the only thing I was going to say, is Donnie didn't do the expanded spell list.
Did not.
If you did.
You guys want to help me fill in a spell list for this? Everybody that's seen Supernatural.
What are the chances, 1 out of 100, that Magic Missile would be on your expanded spell list?
Which is 1 the most likely?
No,
or is
1 is the least likely, 100 is the most likely.
For me personally,
Yeah.
pretty low.
I hate this subclass. I think
I figured that's what was that. I figured, but it's from Supernatural. I get something from that, right?
Bonus points, I guess.
I like the concept.
Yep. I like the Supernatural theme there going on.
I like that you become a demon. Like, that just seems fun. Like, that's I feel like that's such a role-playable, thing, you know?
Yeah, originally I had a whole lot of roleplay stuff that Webby was just like, yeah, you don't really want to give yourself negatives. He's like, that's all roleplay fluff you can do.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff.
And you get to find out how serious your party paladin is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Now-
sorry, you're a what?
I have a question about becoming a fiend. Now, are you just outright a fiend, like your creature type changes, or are you a fiend in addition to whatever creature type you were prior?
I was thinking it replaced it, but I don't know. I didn't think about that.
Okay.
I I could see it as a replacement. Like, if you are a demon, doesn't matter what your form looks like, you're now a demon.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Can you read the level 10 feature again?
Sure. Let's see. Okay, this one's called Skimming Off the Top. When you seal the deal for a mortal soul, you gain 1 additional Warlock spell slot as you keep a portion for yourself. This spell slot is lost upon a short or long rest. This ability may only be used once per long rest. You also gain expertise and charisma persuasion checks.
That's neat. I couldn't remember if you said that the spell slot was lost after a short or long rest, and that makes more sense.
Yeah.
If the spell slot wasn't lost, you'd be just fucking lawnmowering souls all day.
Oh my god,
Give me those
lawnmowering.
slots.
Well, that's kind of got a built-in limitation because you can only go into your office, quote unquote, twice a day.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think that's neat.
Free spell slot's a free spell slot. That's a cool way to get it.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's kind of like it was alleviating one of the issues as a warlock that warlocks always try to find items to do.
Yep.
And again, you already got my seal of approval because you came to me and had me read it and help you balance it. So,
Right. How OP do you guys think this would be? Is it S? I think it's probably a solid A at the very least. I don't know that it's an S. Well, I think Webby thinks it is. I'm kind of borderline.
Huh. I mean, expertise and persuasion isn't broken. 10 minutes in the Magnificent Mansion's not going to do anything for you. What are you going to do? Eat? I don't know. I think
it's mainly the 6th level or lower spell that you essentially get to store for 1d4 rests.
yeah, I mean, I guess, but you also get Mystic Arcanum.
Which allows you a 6th level spell slot for warlock spells.
Yeah, but like
This is you get to replicate any spell of 6th level or lower without time constraints or material components.
Also, though, both that and the 10th level requires you to make a deal with some kind of humanoid, which the DM could be like, nah, no one wants to make a deal with you. So,
yeah, depending on the spell, the patron can just be an ass about it.
Which, I guess, okay. Because of that, I was really curious about the 14th level one. It's like, yeah, you can't use the feature again until you finish 1d4 long rests. What if you weren't gonna get a fucking deal during those 4 rests anyways?
Right. I mean, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like a lot of the time, a lot more than you probably are gonna like as this subclass, there aren't gonna be enough people around unless you're trying to take your party soul, which is,
Tilly.
Questionable at best.
Yeah.
Or maybe the patron just won't pick up the phone.
Right. Well, the way I pictured it, like when you're making deals on your patron's behalf, they essentially had access to the wish spell to the DM's discretion. But then once you're able to fulfill your own, for example, to get your spell slot, your extra spell slot, you can use the limited wish yourself to do your own deal.
Right.
Also, and it did say per DM's discretion, but I
Yes.
guess, like, me as a player, and I would talk it out so much with Webby or Rob if this was my character, I'd be like, okay, what is a deal? Like, are they asking for someone to come back to life? Are they just wanting power? Are they wanting money? Like, what's going to be normal and what can I actually accomplish? Like, what,
Right.
And I guess I'd want some sort of example, at least because, of like, hey, example of possible deals, but you don't have to use them as per, like, any of the rule books. It says, hey, you don't technically have to do what this says, but just as, like, a leaping off point.
Well,
Right.
see, okay, so as a DM, the way I would do this, first off, I find, like, I think this particular subclass would very much be more beneficial in like a city or urban campaign where you're going to run into a lot more people. Like, when you're traveling, you might have the occasional passerby of, a merchant or whatever, but you run into a lot less people when you're traveling than you do if you're in a city. you can actively seek out people who might be down on their luck, and you can try to help change that. But like, as far as like the first level ability of making deals for your patron, and then that patron essentially having a wish spell that could grant this person some sort of boon, unless, because also you gotta keep in mind like the NPCs are also in the DM's hands. But like my way that I would use this to kind of maybe twist it a little bit for the Warlock is if regardless of what the NPC wanted, what the person that you're bargaining for their soul wanted, I would try to monkey paw it. Unless that NPC hired Ryan as their lawyer, as their wish lawyer.
Wish lawyer.
Hell yeah.
Because, I mean, you're working for a demon.
Right.
You are willing to give them something. And, I mean, it might be something similar to, say, Supernatural. Like, Supernatural, yeah. If they want fame, money, power, whatever, they get that for 10 years. And then after 10 years, they're dragged to hell, essentially. It might be something either akin to that, or... if they want money, they could come across a whole bag of money. They could take it and be like, oh yeah, my luck's changed, I'm rich now. And then that money might have belonged to, either another rich person who now is going to try to kill this guy, or a thieves guild, or an orphanage, whatever. Something where it like puts that NPC now in a modicum of some sort of danger, or maybe tries to twist the PC and their emotional state, because I think it would be very hard, not impossible, to play this subclass as a good character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like it almost requires that.
That being said, Rob played a demon in a campaign, and he was technically a good character. And there are good demons out there. But yeah.
Imagine the scene from The Incredibles at the beginning, where, if for a brief context, I don't remember what company he worked for, but basically he helped this client get a better deal than what his company would have liked. Like, his company was like, you can't just be giving money away like this, blah, blah, blah. He used to be a superhero, right? So that would be kind of funny to be that person who's going into the demon world with the sole intention of fucking over the demons, knowing that you're gonna become a demon yourself, but it's worth it because you're gonna give people shit, like cool shit.
Right.
So, like, stands up really loudly to the patron, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. And then you whisper to the person, I'm going to give you $1 million.
I definitely see a lot of good RP aspects on this. Also, like Ryan said, if there's a paladin in the party, I'd be interested to see how the Warlock defends himself to the paladin.
Just offer them a deal.
Hey, you can definitely persuade him.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, step into my office. We'll talk about how you can get me to stop doing this.
Oh, man, the monkey paw.
What if I told you...
Let's make a deal. Come talk about this.
What if I told you that you could kill all demons in a very short time? With only one caveat. At the end, you become a demon.
Otherwise, overall, I like this. I like this concept. It is not as broken as I originally thought when we went through and we talked about it earlier and reworded and reorganized a few things. So, yeah, I'd be okay with letting people play this in a campaign. I definitely think it would be hard to play a good aligned character with this subclass at first, I feel. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my demon character also tried to make deals because he was originally a Crossroads demon. But
Nice.
Because he separated himself from the Abyss, he lost most of his power. So when he tried to make deals, he could only do it with the powers that he currently had, which were like kind of not impressive. Like they were impressive for like a fighter, which is what basically his class was, like demon fighter. I think it was like demonic knight or something. We decided. But it was like, you know what? If you want, I can kill this person for you if you give me your soul. It's like, I can just pay money for this. Or I was like, there was a guy that was like got kicked off the city council. I was like, I get you position back for your soul or whatever. It's like, but you don't have to pay me until it happens. And he's like, well, how are you going to do that? He's like, you let me worry about that. It's just if you get your seat back on the council and I'm the cause of it, you owe me your soul. And he was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, God damn it.
Oh my god.
So, Lex and Ryan, is there anything that you have, any last comments to make on this particular subclass before we move on to either Lex's or Rob's?
Party of demons. That's all.
I'm with it.
Party of demons. I would. I mean, I
I'm with it,
wouldn't
dude.
I wouldn't be opposed to running a small side campaign of you guys running evil characters. I'll say that.
Oh no!
I won't play this.
Oh, there's
I won't
Ryan.
play
Okay.
this.
Okay, but another fun question. Imagine a campaign that's not on the prime material plane.
I mean, that's true.
Shadowfell campaign, that's all I'm saying.
Oh shit!
Chaotic evil paladin, anyone?
Yes!
Done that once. It was real fun.
Oh wait, that's all paladins.
His opinions have been heard.
Anyways,
All right. So, do we want to go Lex next or Rob next?
Ooh.
Roll a d4.
Who? Me?
Yeah, somebody. Somebody roll a d4. Odds Rob, evens Lex.
All right. I have a witness here. I have a D4 here. I will do this. Lex, do you want odds or evens?
What Apple just said, I can't remember if I was odds or evens.
You were evens.
All right.
Cool, I'll take evens.
It's
It
a
is
2.
a 2.
Oh,
well,
wonderful. Alright, so you know that meme where they're like,
This is a great
I started making it, had to break down Bon Appetit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how this went. So my Warlock patron is called the Magic Guardian, and it is specifically based on Sailor Moon and other
Yes.
magical girls. I will share it because it is easier for my brain to read things. Hope you guys have Adobe Reader, or it opens up in a browser.
it opens up in the browser.
It's all good.
Cool. So, throughout the plains, there's an order of guardians dedicated to protecting all life from evil entities who seek to corrupt or destroy the hearts and souls by draining them of their dreams and love. Magic guardians can be of any alignment, however, they usually tend towards good. Above all else, they fight for love and for justice. The expanded spell list. The call to purify evil lets you choose from an expanded list of spells when you learn the Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the Warlock spell list for you. Level 1, you can add Color Spray and Detect Evil and Good. Level 2, you can get Healing Spirit and Moonbeam. 3rd level, Elemental Weapon, Motivational Speech. 4th level, Elemental Bane and Locate Creature. 5th level, Banishing Smite and Dispel Evil and Good. Prison Power Makeup. Starting at 1st level, you gain the ability to cloak yourself in the magic of your patron to fight evil. As a bonus action, you can cause yourself to transform into your guardian form. And this transformation lasts for 1 minute, or until you dismiss it as a bonus action, become unconscious, or die. You can use the ability a number of times per day equal to 1 plus your proficiency bonus. In this form, your equipment functions as normal, but takes on a new appearance that you determine, and appears to shimmer with elemental energy. In addition, you gain the following benefits. You gain temporary hit points equal to your Warlock level, and you shed bright light for 20 feet centered on you, and dim light for an additional 20 feet. I'll punish you. At 1st level, you choose an element from which you draw your abilities. Choose from Acid, Cold, Fire, Force, Lightning, Radiant, Necrotic, or Thunder. When you make an attack against a creature, you can choose to imbue the attack with an extra elemental energy, adding 1d4 of your chosen element to the damage. This amount increases to 1d6 at 6th level, 1d8 at 10th level, 1d10 at 14th level, and that's it. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all uses upon completing a long rest. Prismatic Shield. At level 6, you are protected by your elemental energy. You gain resistance to your chosen element. In addition, while in your guardian form, you gain the ability to cast shield spell once a day without using a spell slot. Magic of Friendship. Starting at 10th level, the protection of your element extends to your friends. When you transform using the Star Power Makeup feature, you instead gain temporary hit points equal to your Warlock level, plus your Charisma modifier. Additionally, choose up to 5 creatures you can see. Those creatures gain temporary hit points equal to half your Warlock level, plus your Charisma modifier. For Love and Justice. At 14th level, you call upon the embodiment of Love and Spectral Unicorn to deliver the ultimate justice. As an action, you can summon a Spectral Unicorn on a space you can see within 60 feet. The unicorn charges 60 feet in a straight line, passing through creatures. Each creature within 5 feet of the unicorn's path must make a dexterity saving throw, taking 8d8 damage of your selected element on a fail, or half as much on a success.
I actually really love this one.
Well, I think it's so cute.
Yeah, I do too.
Thanks.
Like, when you think Warlock, you never think of, like, somebody fighting for, like, love and justice. It's always, like, these dark and, like, almost somewhat dreary kind of existences. I have a question. I had to write it down a note so I didn't forget. The thing that allows you to change what your equipment looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, like, if you wielded a sword, could you make it look like a rainbow sword?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, fuck
It's
yeah.
purely cosmetic, so it's based off of how they transform whenever they go into battle. And I had originally had it where there wasn't a time limit, but Ryan thought it was kind of broken to you be able to change your form whenever you want and gain the temporary hit points.
Right.
So we left it at a minute, but for roleplay purposes, it's going to be short. But I guess that's up to your DM to allow you to stay transformed just for the aesthetics of being transformed. But yeah, there's no additional value. It's just your guardian form is your cute outfit you get to wear.
So, anybody who knows me knows that I have a love of Diablo 3. Okay, I have a love for Diablo in general, but Diablo 3, I'm a big fan of the game. And in that game, you can go to a world that's literally the map looks like it's colored with crayons, and you fight teddy bears and unicorns and ponies. And in that world, you can find these little tiny cute Diablo piñatas. And if you bust them open, there's a chance that you can get one of 2 items. One is a sword and one is a dagger. The dagger just looks like you're holding a hamburger. It's the hamburger dagger. And then the other one is this, like, really dope, like, rainbow sword that just kind of, like, it doesn't look solid. It just looks like a rainbow, like, energy coming out of a hilt. If I played this Warlock, I'd be carrying a sword and a dagger all the time, and it'd be looking like a rainbow sword and a hamburger.
Oh, yeah.
That out there.
So I have a question. I'll punish you. Do you choose one at first level and then stick with it, or is it able to be changed every time you transform?
So the concept behind this was how each of the Sailor Guardians has a planet, and they all have a special ability based on their planet. So in this case, you would choose your element and you'd stick with it for the entire time you play this Warlock.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I do like that. I think maybe I would word it like I can, because I also was at Rob's point where up until the end of it, I didn't realize that you were with one element the whole time. But once I got to the end, I was like, okay, it does seem like it's just one element, and I think that's a cool fucking concept. I don't know how to reword it, but like I love it.
It probably just needs this element can only be selected once and cannot be changed or something like that. You know, just something semantic.
Now, I don't know anything about Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see an entire party of warlocks playing this particular thing, and then each choosing a different element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd all be different Sailor Guardians and
Yeah.
fucking rad as fuck. And then one of them's a demon.
And then then one demon.
Well, technically in the lore there was. So yeah, that makes sense.
It's okay. You know that one picture where it's like, we're gonna defeat you with the power of love, friendship, murder, and like, it's like the one edgy person. That's the one who shows the necrotic damage, unimaginable pain.
Just one more thing. The summoning the unicorn seems to be unlimited. Is that?
Oh, it's only once. I forgot to add a time.
Okay.
And to address the other comment, you could probably make it at a certain point just one of these features that you always aesthetically appear to be in your guardian form, but you can choose to activate the thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Now,
know.
is it only your equipment you can change, or can you change your appearance when you're in this form?
I'm trying to think about how technically in the show it's just their clothing and their hair. But I mean, I don't see why you couldn't flavor it to be looking however you want.
I'm not gonna lie, I would play this, and only because, again, I don't know anything about Sailor Moon, but going back to a different show that I watched growing up, and I'm gonna age myself here, I would play this and I would become a Care Bear,
God.
holding a rainbow sword.
Yes.
And I'd shoot.
I mean,
I would
honestly,
shoot.
why not?
I'd shoot color spray out of the emblem on my stomach. I love this. I don't know. I just really love this subclass.
Time to have a magical girl campaign. Just saying. Throwing that out there.
Well, this obviously won't be the evil campaign,
Yeah.
unless you guys are fighting for the love of evil.
Suppose you could flavor it however you want. I mean, they tend to lean towards good, but doesn't mean you couldn't be evil.
Right. What is this? Is this going to have audio if I open this up?
No.
Oh, that's the extreme violence comic.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Incredible violence. I see you got a new member. All right. Oh, he's constantly covered in blood.
Oh.
I love that.
Viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed that too.
The viewers are used to us
I
having
know.
visual representations on here that they can't see. I will say this, Lex, from a DM perspective, and just, I guess, purely from a game mechanics perspective, I think it's extremely well balanced. I think you did a very good job doing it.
Thanks. I have no concept of balance, so that helps.
I think we all do, because I felt that way too going into it, right? But I think we inherently do. Sometimes you might skew one way or the other, but like it's like we've played D&D enough that we have a vague idea of what seems like it'd be too much or too little.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that most of you are like, Webby, can you read this and tell me if it's too broken? It's like, alright, I guess so.
We need a second opinion.
Yeah, but it's always mine.
And meanwhile,
What
I
makes
just
me
send
know
Webby.
more about D&D than anyone else.
I just send him things, and I don't say anything, and he just comes back with, "My God."
My God. Or when you used to send me that crazy guy who's like, oh yeah, this thing does this, this, and this much damage, and I'm just like, man, this guy's math is really off.
I can't
Like,
even watch those anymore.
is it because I've debunked him too many times that you're like, well, it's not worth it anymore?
No, it was really like monotone.
Yeah.
But like, man, it's so much math. I hate math, and like, as much as I want to know how you do Magic Missile 4,096 times in the same turn, I just can't listen to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that leaves one left. We got Rob.
What?
What? What happened?
What? Well, I mean, we're way over the hour mark. Let's just wrap up.
No, we got a little bit more time that we can spend on one more subclass.
Okay. Alright, I will send this in the Discord as well, although mine is not fancy like everybody else's.
Neither was Donnie's.
I wasn't either. It's okay.
Donnie didn't send anything. It doesn't count.
I'm rude.
That's true too. I
just
had
rude,
mine.
I'm sorry.
I had my copy of his pulled up from when I had to help him rewrite it. So
All right. So mine is the Vengeful Spirit / the Poltergeist because I wasn't sure which sounded better, but I used Vengeful Spirit throughout. So, Vengeful Spirits are ghosts who have had some great wrong done to them in their lives, normally what killed them. This causes them to remain after death to try and avenge this wrong. Over time, they slowly become obsessed with this until it is the only thing they can think of, like an itch you just can't scratch. As such, they act violently and try to avenge the wrong. Sometimes their vengeance can spread to others who have nothing to do with them, but have or are doing something that's similar to their death. This is the type of warlock you become. Expanded spell list. The Eventual Spirit lets you choose from the expanded spell list. When you learn a warlock spell, the following spells are added to your warlock spell list for you. Level 1, Dissonant Whispers and Fog Cloud. Level 2, Levitate and Spiritual Weapon. Level 3, Blink and Bestow Curse. Level 4, Greater Invisibility and Phantasmal Killer. Level 5, Dominate Person and Animate Objects. Ghost Eyes. Starting at first level, your patron bestows upon you of the ability to see as a spirit does. You gain dark vision out to 30 feet. If you already have dark vision, it is extended by an additional 30 feet. You can also see into the ethereal plane out to a distance of 30 feet. You also gain the Mage Hand cantrip, but your Mage Hand is invisible. Curses upon your enemies. Starting at 6th level, you can flit around the battlefield like a vengeful ghost, cursing your enemies. As an action, you can teleport up to 30 feet to a space adjacent to an enemy using 5 feet of your movement each time you do. You may continue to teleport as long as you have the movement speed to do so. When you appear, make a melee spell attack against an adjacent enemy or enemies. On a hit, the enemy is hexed by you as if under the hex spell. You may teleport back to your original space at any time if it is within 30 feet of you and you have at least 5 feet of movement left. However, this ends this special movement. The hexes must be maintained by concentration and are all removed as concentration is lost. Hex cannot be moved again while at least one creature is hexed in this way. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. At 14th level, this ability may be used again after a short or long rest. Call to the Grave. Beginning at 10th level, your patron teaches you how to weaken the barrier between the material and ethereal planes. You create a 20-foot radius area of ghostly energy. You and all allies in the area gain advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws as the spirits help to guide them. All enemies in the area gain disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws as they are harried by angry ghosts. You may use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus rounded down, regaining all uses each day at sundown. And they never sleep. Starting at 14th level, you no longer sleep. You cannot be put to sleep by any means and suffer no effects from exhaustion until you reach level 6. You also cannot be rendered unconscious. If you are at 0 HP and stable, you can move and act normally, however, any damage will instantly put you into the dying state. You may perform a ritual that casts your spirit into the ethereal plane for 4 hours, giving you the benefit of a long rest and resetting your exhaustion to 0. During this time, your spirit may move about the ethereal plane and may see into the material plane, but cannot interact with it. Your body remains completely immobile and appears dead, even with a successful medicine check during the entire time of the ritual, and the ritual cannot be interrupted. If you are killed during this time, your spirit is cast into the ethereal plane and you become a vengeful spirit yourself, causing disadvantage on any attempt to resurrect you. You may use this feature once per day, regaining its use after 24 hours have passed. Additionally, you now require 6 failed or successful saving throws to die or stabilize. While you are in the dying state, you can project your spirit outside of your body to continue to fight on. Any damage taken by either you or your spirit, by either your spirit or your body results in a failed death save.
all right. Again, I will preface this with you know my thoughts on this because I helped. I made sure it was balanced for you.
Mm-hmm.
See, even the other DM comes to you to make sure something's balanced.
Well, see, I'm a player in his game, so I kind of put it to him like, if I had created this, would you let me play it, basically?
No, that's
Right.
fair.
Thoughts?
I liked it. I especially the fighting on thing. I liked how it just thematically fit.
I think it's a good theme.
I have a question.
Mhm.
of the last thing that you read when you're in the dying state and you can still fight on.
Yeah.
But if your body or your ethereal self takes damage, then it results in an automatic failed death save.
Yeah. I mean, you would also take damage, so if you end up with negative health, you would die too, as well.
Well, negative your total
Full
hit
health,
points.
yeah.
But, like, question now. Your ethereal self is on the field, right? And it's fighting on and stuff, but your body's lying, essentially dead, 20 feet away. What if somebody targets you with a magic missile and targets your body with one and targets the ethereal self with another? Do you take 2 automatic death saves?
I mean, if you targeted the body with 6, don't you take 6 automatic death saves?
It's true.
I mean, that's true.
So what's the
Rule is
difference?
written.
I'm just curious. But I'm assuming, like, if a fireball went off, would it still be 2, or would it be just 1 at that point?
I would kind of treat like a fireball or area effect the way that we do the Reflectionist, where if they're both hit by it, they take the same damage at the same time, kind of thing. So I don't know. We'd have to talk about that.
Like damage based on the effect, the number of effects.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean,
Cool one.
I'd be okay with probably either. I do think that if, like, say, something like a fireball, like an AoE, had the potential of hitting both the ethereal self and the body, that it would cause 2 failed death saves, would really put you in a state of an emergency, as if you were, if you got knocked down to the point where you were dying,
Mhm.
that you would either, one, want to essentially move your body and hide it somehow, or get the fuck away from your body, knowing that AoE effects would cause 2 death saves. I feel like if the AoE effect would cause more than 1, if it hit both, would make more compelling combat.
Yeah, I mean, that's more how it should work. The reason the Reflectionist works as it does is because they are supposed to both the same exact person,
Right.
who's taking the same exact damage at the same exact time. So this would not be like that. So yeah, I guess it would be 2 separate damages.
Not saying that I'm wanting to ramp up people's death saves, but I do feel like it would make a more compelling combat, decisions in combat.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially why I also doubled the amount of death saves it took to kill you, because you could potentially be damaging both. So.
Yep. Thoughts, Apple?
Oh, I said I liked it.
Anything that you have questions on or would want to change? Anything seem too overpowered?
I feel like I don't have nothing that really stuck out to me.
All right. Well, I will say this. I feel like all of you made minimum A-tier Warlock subclasses.
Aww.
If we were actually going through and ranking these, I would definitely give, again, minimum A, maybe a couple A pluses, potentially an S, with the exception of mine. Give mine a D.
Lies and slander.
Yeah.
Too bad. All of us giving yours an S tier would.
I mean, that would cancel out my
D.
D, but my D would still factor in there a little bit.
S minus.
Everyone did a great job.
Yeah, I was impressed with the variety. Because
And now to play an all Warlock campaign with our...
we each have to play our respective homebrews.
But I want to play Lex's, though. I want to be a rainbow sword wielding
Care Bear.
Play the bear folk race.
A bear folk, yeah. Even better. My fur turns green, and I get a little 3-leaf clover imprint on my belly that I can shoot color spray out of.
Oh my god.
Oh my
fuck
god. Do that in front of my Warlock.
Besides, if we're all playing a Warlock campaign, I mean, it's gonna have to be up to me or Rob to probably DM it. So I'm gonna end up DMing it.
Then your
Not gonna-
NPC character can be the warlock.
That's true. Forgot NPCs exist. Just like,
Hey,
you know,
you-
half the time you guys get into battle, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't fucking roll initiative for so-and-so.
Hey, you don't know. There's other people in this episode who aren't running campaign.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Donnie, get onto it.
What happened?
Yeah,
What happened?
What happened, guy?
Has anyone ever run a campaign where each player DMs a different session, but it's still the same story?
Ooh.
I've heard of something similar to that, but no.
Me and Austin thought about doing something like that, but we determined it would be too complicated.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think you have to really be in sync.
Yeah, everyone wanted to be like on schedule to know what they were going to do next.
Yeah.
Me and my friend,
Oh, go ahead.
we had this project called Sketch Diary in high school where we each drew the next part of a comic and we passed it around until we got as far as we did. But maybe like, I don't know, like 6 months later, like there were only like 4 of us. 2 people dropped out within like a week of each other. So it was like, okay, now it's just me and Shannon just passing comics back and forth. And then we graduated, so we stopped.
I mean, that's
But
cool, though.
kind of like that.
It makes me think of in middle school, we did a thing in computer class one time where we all wrote like a story and we only had so much time to write, and then you would pass to the next person, but they could only see the last sentence that you wrote. And I feel like that's how the campaign would go, even though you're there participating in it. If you weren't like totally in sync, you'd be like, okay, I know you guys just got kidnapped, but suddenly you're free and you're going this direction now. And like, I don't know, I feel like it'd be really fun to try, honestly, but chaotic as fuck.
True.
Oh,
My
I-
bad.
okay.
I will say one last thing about Rob's thing, because I made a little jab at Donnie's for not putting Magic Missile on his expended spell list. Rob, I'm going to give you a little jab. When you read off your expanded spell list, I wrote down one particular spell, and I drew a little face vomiting. Donnie will understand. I disapprove of animate objects. I get
Yeah,
while
but-
you put it on there, and it fits thematically. I just
And this
hate
is
the
not
spell.
from something that was even in your games.
Nope, it's not. I hate the spell. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to do all like ghostly spells,
Yeah,
so
like I
animate
said, it
objects looks
definitely-
like ghosts are throwing, like
Yep.
a poltergeist is throwing shit around.
It definitely fits thematically. So,
Hell yeah.
but all right. Well, we are at the hour and 20 mark, so I guess we will wrap it up there. Rob, do we have a science corner with Rob?
Just that people are arguing about how to recover samples from Mars because they started digging like core samples from Mars finally, and they're planning to transport them to Earth. And people were like, "What if there's some kind of like bugs or things on Mars that could like contaminate Earth?" So there's like a big argument about how to safely bring samples back from Mars to Earth.
That's fair.
Again, I'm gonna say this because I forgot to send it to you, Rob, and it might be. I mean, you know, like the last 3 things I sent you, you're like, this is dumb, though, you know. And this might be old news. Like, I know one of them I sent you was like something that I had read, and it was posted that day, and you're like, this was from like last month, so we've already missed this. But apparently, there's supposed to be like a bunch of planets all aligning at one time.
Oh yeah, that is true. It's till the end of this month, so it's got a few more days. Like 7 more days or so. All the planets are aligned.
Is that something?
Well, not all of them, but most of them.
Is that something that does not happen very often?
Yeah, I think the next one will be like 2040. The
It's-
next time it happens.
It's like 7 cars worth of blinkers synchronizing at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty off. Yeah. All right.
All right, well, prophecy's gonna line up in 7 days.
If anything shit happens in your life, you can blame it on the planets.
I'm gonna actually turn into a bear folk Care Bear because of the aligning of these planets. Is Pluto one of them?
No.
I thought it was officially reinstated. Am I
I believe it's I think it's Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. It might be Mercury. I don't remember which ones they are, but I know I think either Uranus or Neptune is out as well as Pluto. And Earth isn't involved in it either.
I like how me and Donnie chuckled at Uranus.
Jesus.
Did we, Webby?
Yeah. I just, poor Pluto. He's out there just fucking floating around. He's a planet in my eyes. I don't care what anyone says. But he's just not aligned with no one.
You know how much harder that would be?
It is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So it does not involve Earth or anything beyond Saturn.
Or Neptune.
It's just Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
All right.
But you should be able to see all of them in the sky, lined up behind each other.
Without a telescope?
They'd be like stars.
Yeah, I mean they just look like stars without a telescope. But
They
yeah,
don't twinkle the same, and if you have really sharp eyes, they might have a slight hue to them. But
all right. So that was Science Corner with Rob. You know what? I'm gonna ask Ryan. Ryan, do you have life advice for our listeners out there?
Oh God, you're really putting me on the spot here.
Feel free to take a minute if you need to Google fortune cookie sayings or something.
No. Let's see. Ooh. Life advice. I'm definitely in the position to give life advice. Okay. All right. Whatever you're thinking of doing, just fucking do it. Just go fucking do it.
good advice.
Do it.
Oh, that's actually good advice. I thought you were going to say something silly, don't push a poop too hard.
Also good advice.
don't inflame your hemorrhoids. There you go. but no, just fucking do it.
Good advice, Ryan.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's start doing sign-offs. Lex, where can people find you if they want to reach out or send you messages on the interwebs?
I almost just said internet.
You can find me on the internet.
Instagram and Twitter at Ursula's Revenge, spelled RVNGE.
All right. Ryan, where can people find you?
Oh, I never actually sent it.
I know.
It was just in my send file.
As you started reading it, I just looked at Apple. We just both shrugged.
I clicked to upload the file, but then I never hit enter, so it was just on there. I'm like, why does this have a big red trash can over it? Oh, there you go. If you want to read it, it's in there now.
Ryan, where can people find you on the internet?
I am a leaf on the wind, but I have a Twitter and a Twitch. Crimtastic.
All right. Apple, where can people find you?
Appleschloss21, that's spelled SCHLOSS. Good luck. Twitter, I think my Instagram's the same as that too.
Okay.
The sigh.
Donnie, where can people find you?
You know, I was hoping you would ask me that. You can find me at Jack's Forest Walker, all one word.
Son of a bitch. Every time.
Anytime you expect me to be professional or an adult, there you go.
Rob, where can people find you?
You can find me driving off a bridge instead of going to the doctor, because Ryan told me to do what I was thinking about, and I'm going to do it.
No, bad. Get the spray bottle.
I'll tell you.
Oh, don't do that before I rob this bank, Rob.
So now I feel like I have to chloroform Rob, throw him in the car, drive him to the doctor safely, carry him in, and then have the doctor use the smelling sticks or something, do what they gotta do, and then re-chloroform him, and then drive him home.
Well, I don't think you'd want to drive off after the doctor's appointment.
Still gonna re-chloroform him, so that way I don't have to hear him complaining about the doctor's appointment.
Oh boy.
I feel like we just need to add 5E to the end of this conversation.
5E makes everything good.
You can find me at dbronner21 on Twitter.
Oh, I forgot you did that.
Yeah, go send him a bunch of really weird pictures of stuff.
Bet you won't.
Oh, challenge accepted,
I like
listeners.
nude men. Send pictures of nude men to D Broderick.
Oh, Jesus.
You might as well for the last time I logged in.
All right, everybody. Rob, do you want to give your actual thing? Or?
Yeah, so you can find me at Confessor_X on Twitter, and you can find me at Twitch at twitch.tv/ConfessorX.
All right, and as always, thank you for listening. You guys can follow me on Twitter at JaxForceWalker, all one word. That's mine, not Donnie's. You guys can follow me on Twitch at DMWebby and on eBay at I Miss You, Devin. Where are you? And you guys can follow me on fucking Reddit at Ryan Uwu.
Oh my god.
Sure, there is someone named Ryan Uwu.
You caught me. That's definitely my name.
Thank you for listening. We love you guys, and until next time, fuck Booster Gold.
Fuck Booster Gold.
Booster Gold.
And now the outro music, which we all can talk about. It's fine.
La-di-la.
La-di-la.
Oh boy.
Blah, blah, blah.
See, Lex, that was painless, right?
Yeah, totally. It wasn't bad.
I feel like you went into that a little nervous.
Yeah.
I think yours was fantastic.
Oh, thanks. Because when I was writing it, Ryan was like, "That's overpowered. That's overpowered." I was like, "I don't know what overpowered is."
Do you want to provide context for that?
All right. Well, I don't remember what exactly it was, but